Questions and comments from the honourable member for Yellowhead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank the honourable member for his presentation, and I was very interested in a lot of the stuff he had to say. And I totally agree with him. I mean, 13 acts on 3 modes of transportation, it's ridiculous. I mean, you'd think the Liberals wouldn't care anything about Parliament. They just want to ram this thing through. And it's absolutely disgusting to see what's happening here with such an important matter, whether it's air traffic, whether it's rail traffic, whatever. But you did mention some good points there, and it was on the safety. And there was we haven't had the opportunity to have any real good debate here, good discussion, and that's what we're here for. We're here to talk about the safety of rail transportation, but what I'm more interested in is the safety of our communities where the railways go through, and the safety for the people working on the railways. And we're not having that opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to speak. And I just want to give a quick example, and I'd like to ask my honourable friend to answer this. In my community, we see the super trains. Large trains of grain, large trains of oil tankers, large trains of containers, and they come into the small communities from one side of Canada to the other side of Canada. They block crossings. People can't get to and from the communities. People can't get to the hospital. People can't get to work, sometimes for hours on end because the trains sit during the shuffling of the other train going east or west. I wonder if the member would just comment on that situation, because I know it's happening in his riding, it's happening in every member's riding in this country, and it is a danger to Canadians. Thank you.
For Elmwood Transcona.
Thank you very much, and the member's quite right. There is a lot to talk about when it comes to rail safety. The length of trains is certainly part of that, and the NDP and my father in this place before me has a long record of fighting for appropriately lengthed trains. And it's been a tradition in Canada that the trains continue to get longer and longer and longer. That has an economic impact because for the goods and services that aren't moving on the train, it means significant delays. There's safety delays involved when it comes to getting to hospital. And it's another example of successive Liberal and Conservative governments that just haven't been willing to stand up to the railways and say, I'm sorry, but you guys are changing your practices in a way that are having serious negative effects on communities, and we're telling you to stop it because you can still make money by running shorter trains. You can't tell us that it's not economically viable to run reasonably length trains. When we talk about fatigue management, that's a serious issue. I spoke to that a little bit earlier. We've got issues in my own backyard, the community mission gardens. There was a new underpass built. Now we've got the railway has decided unilaterally that they're going to start marshalling trains on the main line between the shops and the yards where they never used to. We've got people that lived in the community for 30, 40 years are now saying they've got cracked windows, they've got cracks in their foundation, they've got diesel fumes in their home, pictures are falling off the wall, and the government is not willing to get involved to tell the railway that they can't make those kinds of unilateral decisions, and the communities are not going to be forced to bear the consequences of the decisions that railways make in their own economic self-interest without any regard to what's going on in the community. And it's high time we had a government in this country that's willing to play tough with the railways and let them know they're not the only people using the land in Canada. There's people that live by their tracks and they have to respect them.
Time for one more.